Let me ask you a few questions about how you view the world. Do you believe that minorities need special help to succeed?
Senator, that issue is currently pending before the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yes, ma'am, but we just established that you're not going to let your personal opinions affect your decisions. You're going to follow precedent.
Absolutely. I will follow whatever precedent comes from the Supreme Court.
So let's talk about your personal opinions, which will be irrelevant to your position on the court. Do you believe that minorities need special help to succeed?
Senator, again, I don't have a personal position, and sitting here as a current sitting judge and as nominee,
have you thought about that?
I am aware that we have given preferential treatment. It's been subject to a lot of different court cases. The issue.
Do you agree with that or disagree with it?
Senator John Kennedy engaged in one of the most intense judicial confirmation exchanges of the year when he questioned Judge Alikin about her personal beliefs on systemic racism and minority assistance. Despite being asked repeatedly in different ways, the Biden judicial nominee refused to share her personal views, citing judicial propriety. Kennedy grew increasingly frustrated, arguing that if nominees never think about critical issues facing America, they're not qualified for the federal bench. This video breaks down every moment of the heated clash, the legal arguments on both sides, and what this means for future confirmation hearings. The exchange touches on affirmative action, systemic racism, judicial independence, and the crisis of trust in American institutions. Watch as Kennedy presses the judge on whether minorities need special help to succeed, whether she believes in systemic racism, and whether her own court is systemically racist. Her responses, or lack thereof, reveal the impossible position nominees find themselves in during modern confirmation battles. Let's dive into the main video.
Judge Alikin, am I saying that right?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. Will you allow your personal or political beliefs to affect your decisions?
No, Senator. My personal beliefs have never played a role in the positions I took as an advocate, nor do they play a role in the positions I take as a judge when I'm neutrally deciding a case.
Okay. I'm glad we got that off the table. Let me ask you a few questions about how you view the world. Do you believe that minorities need special help to succeed?
Senator, that issue is currently pending before the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yes, ma'am, but we just established that you're not going to let your personal opinions affect your decisions. You're going to follow precedent.
Absolutely. I will follow whatever precedent comes from the Supreme Court.
So let's talk about your personal opinions, which will be irrelevant to your position on the court. Do you believe that minorities need special help to succeed?
Senator, again, I don't have a personal position, and sitting here as a current sitting judge and as nominee,
have you thought about that?
I am aware that we have given preferential treatment. It's been subject to a lot of different court cases. The issue.
Do you agree with that or disagree with it?
It's not a question, Senator, of whether I agree or disagree. I apply the law as it comes before me.
You're being confirmed to the federal bench, and presumably you're a critically thinking person. I'm just asking you what you believe. Let me ask you one more time. Do you believe that minorities in America need special help to succeed? It's a very simple question.
Senator, to the extent policymakers have enacted laws that provide protections,
do you agree with those policymakers?
I am not a policymaker, and as a sitting judge, it is...
You don't have an opinion, or you're just not going to answer. I don't want to waste more time if you're not going to answer.
Senator, as a sitting judge, it is inappropriate for me to comment on my personal views.
No, it's not. We've already established that you're not going to let your personal beliefs interfere with your decisions, so I think you ought to tell us what your personal beliefs are. Do you believe that do you believe in systemic racism?
Senator, again, that's a question for sociologists and academics. I take every case.
You don't have an opinion. You never thought about it.
I take each case as it comes before me on the individual facts.
What is systemic racism?
My understanding is that it's a sociological theory that racism plays a systemic role. But beyond that, I'm not an academic. I'm not a sociologist. I am a judge, and I apply the facts and the law to the cases that come before me.
Right, but you don't have an opinion.
No, Senator, I do not.
Do you have an opinion on anything you'd like to share with us?
Senator, as a sitting judge, it's inappropriate for me to comment on any personal views I might hold.
No, it's not. We just established the first question I asked you was, Your view of the world does matter. If you never thought about the world, if you never thought about these issues, you're not qualified to be a federal judge. And I think you ought to come here and answer. I think all of you should come here and answer them forthrightly. If I ask you, let me ask you one last question, and I will quickly, Mr. Chairman. Do you believe you sit on the District of Columbia Court of Appeals? Is the District of Columbia Court of Appeals systemically racist?
Senator, as a sitting judge, I think it would be inappropriate for me to comment. I can say all of my colleagues take the cases open-mindedly
Do
and
you
on the
think it's
facts before them.
systemically racist?
I don't think that it is, Senator, but I also
Okay.
don't know if I'm qualified to give that type of
Well,
assessment.
you sit on the court, right?
I think all of my colleagues take their cases with an open mind, without any prejudice, and faithfully apply the law to the
Well, I'm
facts.
disappointed you won't answer my questions, but I thank the chairman for giving me the extra time.
Senator John Kennedy was absolutely right to press Judge Alicon on her personal beliefs, and her repeated refusals to answer simple questions should concern every American who cares about an honest judiciary. The senator wasn't asking her to prejudge cases or violate any ethical standards. He simply wanted to know what she believed about fundamental issues that shape how millions of Americans experience this country. When Kennedy asked if minorities need special help to succeed, he wasn't setting a trap. He was asking a basic question that every thinking adult has contemplated. When he asked about systemic racism, he was exploring whether this nominee had engaged with one of the defining debates of our era. Her refusal to answer wasn't judicial restraint, it was evasion, plain and simple. The judge cannot have it both ways. She cannot claim that her personal beliefs are completely irrelevant to her work on the bench while simultaneously refusing to share those beliefs, because doing so might reveal something important about how she approaches the law. If her views truly don't matter, then what's the harm in being transparent? The American people have a right to know who is being appointed to lifetime positions of immense power. Kennedy understood something crucial that many senators miss. Judges are human beings with worldviews shaped by their experiences, education, and values. Pretending otherwise is naive at best and dishonest at worst. When Judge Alicon claimed she had no opinion on whether minorities need help or whether systemic racism exists, she wasn't protecting judicial independence. She was insulting the intelligence of everyone watching. Of course she has opinions on these matters. Every educated person does. Her refusal to share them suggests she knows her views might be controversial or unpopular with the very senators considering her confirmation. Kennedy's frustration was justified and necessary. Without senators willing to push past the rehearsed non-answers and demand real transparency, confirmation hearings become meaningless theater. The senator was doing exactly what the Constitution envisions, rigorously examining nominees to ensure they're fit for the profound responsibility of interpreting our laws. Judge Alicon's evasiveness tells us everything we need to know about the broken confirmation process and why Americans have lost faith in the judiciary.